Good morning. It
It
is
is
a
that
great morning.
time that we are all excited about. It's the weekly photo news with the Chopstick Guys.
Yeah, and we've got some great stuff to talk about today.
For
Number
sure.
one, you might be thinking I'm drinking a hot cup of coffee, but I'm kind of on this cold brew kick, and not just like buying cold, but actually
Yeah.
making it myself.
Wow.
I know you're not a coffee drinker, but
I'm
my
not.
goodness, guys, look it up on the internet how to make your own cold brew. It's phenomenal. I'm sold. It just tastes different than coffee. So
I'm impressed.
that's an aside, but yeah, I'm just trying to make sure that everything is up here on my end.
Do you know what? I don't think most of the viewers know this. The secret about me and coffee. You know the
No,
secret.
I do know the secret.
And people are going to be amazed. I bet you this will get more comments than anything we ever say. That I have never had coffee. Can you believe that? I have never, ever had coffee pass my lips.
Isn't that crazy?
That is. And I'm going to see how long I can go in life
Yeah. And you said it all
without.
started from like a bet in high school
It
with
did. It
somebody
started from
else.
that. And what's
Yeah.
crazy is that I made this bet with with a friend in high school,
But you've
and
already
it's
won.
yeah, I have one. Here's the crazy thing. So the bet was that, and I don't want to go off too long on this, or else people will start going away like this is not a coffee show. So I made this bet, and I basically said she had never seen a movie in a movie theater. We were in high school. I'm like, that is crazy. She
Uh-huh.
goes, no, it's not crazy. I'm like, it is crazy. And she goes, well, what have you never done? I said, I never had coffee. She goes, oh, that's dumb. I said, I bet you I can go longer in my life of not drinking coffee than you can of not seeing a movie in a movie theater. And she's like, no way, no way. So guess what? Like the next year, she lost. And I thought, I'm none worse for the wear. So I'm gonna see how long I can go in my life without drinking coffee. And I've made it, how many years did I graduate? I don't know, 40 years ago. I sound like an old man, but yeah. And so I have not had coffee. And I'm gonna go my whole life. And I should be able to retire on the amount of money that I've saved from not drinking coffee. The only problem is I've spent all the money that I could have saved not drinking coffee. But yeah, I've never had coffee. So that's a little side note, everybody.
Okay. I'm going to turn this way because I realize what's happening is I think that the way we're showing up is I'm staring away from you. So these are just all those little behind the scenes things, but
Yes, you get a little peek behind the window.
exactly.
So what's
But
going on in the photo news world?
you know what? It's like Christmas at my house, right? So you and I worked together to shooting some content on what day was that? Was it Monday?
Uh,
Tuesday.
Tuesday,
It
yes.
was Tuesday that we no. Today's Wednesday. It was Monday.
It was Monday, yes.
Because
Okay.
my wife had surgery yesterday and she's doing great. But yeah, so we went out Monday and shot some content. And you said, hey, guess what just came? So Westcott, we had asked them about, those who have been following us know that we like shooting with LED lights. We're big, I mean, flash for probably
Yep.
90% of our photos, but there's video stuff we do, and then there's stuff that we're you and I are both starting to really like doing, kind of like studio type projects. We do, what 3 weeks ago we did a school, so we had school portraits, and when we do headshots, LEDs work great.
They do. They do.
And you were like, hey, they sent us these 120Bs, which is their brand new light, and I'm like, okay, wonderful. I was excited about getting it, but you started handing me these boxes. The boxes look good, but then I got home, and so yesterday I had taken my wife. We'd gotten home, brought her back. It was just kind of outpatient thing. She had her gallbladder taken out, and I opened up the box, and I'm like, oh my goodness, these things have like a case, and I pulled
Real
out
nice
the
bag.
case, and I'm like, wow, this is really nice. And then I opened them up, and so you know I've seen their little tiny 60, the what is it, L60, and it's
Yep.
about the size of a Coke can,
It looks like a Coke
60
can.
watts. But I opened up this thing, and it's really not that big. I This 120, it's 120 watts, which again, don't take my word for it. I'm just telling you what I've seen. This is probably equivalent to like 15,000 lumens if you're used to working in lumens. So super bright light. But all of a sudden, then it was like starting to look at all the features. You turn this thing on, I can control the color from temperature, from really cold, very blue to very warm orange.
Yep.
Then there's like special effects. You can make it look like a camera's flashing, or you want it to flicker, so you change it to warm, so it looks like there's a campfire going or candlelight. Like there's all these really cool stuff that you can do with it. And again, it's not that big, but then there was the little features like today when I called you, I'm like, check this out, and you were like, yeah, I know,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
But
because I've been using it for about a week, right? Because I haven't seen you for a week. We've been doing two different things, and I've had these in my house, right, waiting to deliver them to
yeah,
you.
uh-huh.
And man, yeah, go
Look
ahead.
at this. You hit one button, and this comes off, and it's not plastic. It's aluminum or metal. I don't know. I imagine it's some kind of metal or aluminum, but it just slides back on. This is such a big deal. If you've tried to put in a bag, right, this little nub sticking up, and you're trying to bend it down and cock it sideways to fit into your bag. I took this off and went, oh my goodness, this fits where my 85 fits in my think tank bag.
Mm-hmm.
I even stood it up this way in my think tank bag, and it was only sticking up maybe a half inch,
Yeah.
which means I can close the bag.
Yep.
Which is again what I keep saying is one of my favorite things about think tank bags is how deep they are.
So
But
here's something that's interesting. Like you're just talking about like the coolness of all that. But here's the thing that I am blown with, because right now people are going, okay, so what, right? I don't need the bracket to come off. I don't. Everybody can color change now. Color temperature
Yep.
change. Everybody's got those silly, right? We'll call them silly effects. But most LED lights will not take a Bowens mount natively.
yes.
That does.
Yeah, so right on the front there, yep, the Bowens mount. You don't have to adapt anything. There's just a little cover for it. Inside this kit, you get the reflector, and it's one of those that are, I don't know what the official term is, got all these little squares in it. But
Mm-hmm.
I know that some other brands had done this, and we've played with them in the past. I think even like Godox sells it as their like extra bright reflector because it bounces
Right.
the light
It's got
around
little
and
ribs
focuses
on the
it.
inside.
But these little ribs, and my goodness, it's so much brighter that way. You get also, these are $30 to buy these on their own, and people are looking at them going, what in the world's that? That is a speed ring, for the switch line from Westcott,
Yep.
which is made so you can switch things really quick. Guess what? This is going on one of my soft boxes that now I don't have to switch. And it switches easy. It's not that once you figure out how to use it, they're quick. But to have it already on one, that's awesome. That comes with it. And then, you pull out the power cord and you're going, big deal. I told you, I'm like, hey, it's got this cool, like, it looks like it's made out of carbon fiber. And you're like, pull it out of the bag. And I'm like, oh, it's like this netting. But check this out, everybody. It's got its own little wire cable, this really thin cable right here that is used to hang it. Why is this a big deal? If you've ever used LED lights, what do? You take the power cord and you tie a knot in it and you hang it off of your light stand,
And
right?
it's always getting in the way when you're trying to pull it up. Then you're like, oh man.
Yeah, and then you got a knot in your cord, and you're trying to put it, and you just lost like a foot and a half to 2 feet of your cord because you tied it into a knot. Now you just have this little thing that hangs on there. It's awesome. Like, I love when people start making products better.
Well, speaking of cords, the awesome thing, I was telling you this the first time I used it. Like, the cords are really long. The
Yeah.
power cable.
Super long.
We had some LED lights at one point that they must have been like 3 feet long, like stupid cords. So you're raising your stand, you're pulling the cords apart. It was stupid.
Yeah, you raise your stand and it unplugs, and you're like constantly plugging things back in. Even the top of the case, it's got these Velcro here that if you wanted to like put a stand that you're
Yep.
carrying in, so you can Velcro that to the top of your stand. But that is so cool. We've got the V-Tap battery that you can run them off a battery if you want. And you tried it at full power. You got a little over 30 minutes,
Yep.
which is, pretty comparable to the products we've been using in the past. A Reflex from Stella Pro, they last about a half hour, full power. So
I cannot wait to have you play with these things because, like I say, I've been playing for a week, and every day, I call you and say, "Oh, this thing's awesome!" Like,
Hmm.
we like you said, we've been using these lights, LED lights for
Yeah.
6 years, and they've been great. We actually really really like them, even though we're flash guys, but we like these LED lights for it's the right tool for the right time,
Yeah.
right?
And you
And
said there's even a an app for your phone.
yeah, so you can turn them on, off, power adjustments. You can turn the color temperature. And I was just saying, like for these are the ideal wedding reception light. You just put them in the corner, boom, hit it, change color temperature, make it nice and toasty warm. It's just beautiful. So,
Yep.
and they do have a fan in them, like all LED lights, because they can get hot. Like the fan's really quiet. Some of those LED lights, wow, it's like a jet engine
Yeah.
next to your head.
So
But
better technology. So end of commercial. I was excited because, like I said, it's like Christmas when you open these boxes
it's
up,
always
and
fun.
it's like, wow, this is neat. This is neat. So yes, today I'm gonna go pop one up in the living room and I'm gonna play around with it and
Yep.
see what kind of light I get out of it.
If you do want to get one for yourself, send us a little message here on the comments, and we'll get you a discount code too. They're nice enough to give us a discount code for these.
Yeah.
So,
You got any questions about anything Westcott?
yep.
Give us a shout,
And
and
if we don't know the answer, we know the people that do. So
yep, we'll get an answer for you.
give us a holler. Just holler.
Yep.
So it was interesting. You had mentioned like the other day we met to go do some content. That was Monday, and we Mark and I we were actually it was dual purpose of where we went. We went up on to this place in Oroville, California, Bald Rock, which is on the top of this huge granite dome, and we wanted to make some content for some of our partners, and then also just kind of scout out an area for a workshop that we're thinking maybe we could do up there. And you know what I said to you, Mark, when we were up there? It's like, man, I just feel so good up here. It's just good for my soul, right, to
Yep.
be up here. And it, that's the one thing I want to say is like, you guys, for photography, you need to get out and just shoot, just for fun. Just get out and take a walk with your camera, right? Forget about all the stuff that you do as a professional. If you're shooting weddings, seniors, any of that kind of stuff, take a day and just go out and play.
Yep.
It was so refreshing to do. Like when we were up there on the top of the mountain, you just forgot about everything that was going on. I don't know if you guys ever experienced that, but man, it's just you get to the point where I just got to escape a little bit, and that was awesome.
Yeah.
Like we just stood there for a few minutes sometimes, just like I can't believe this creation that we're in. It's just blows me away.
And that goes to the fact of too, is like a lot of people will watch something like that and go, yeah, that's because you guys live in this place that's got this really cool spots to go see. And we were talking up there, you're like, I didn't even know this place existed until I took you. And I'm like, I didn't know it existed until somebody told me. And everybody I talked to is like, never heard of it, never heard of it. So if you're in Northern California, Bald Rock in Oroville, outside of Oroville, California, crazy. It's like the best of what Tahoe and Alabama Hills and all like melded into one little tiny spot of
Kind of like Yosemite too. I mean, it's a little bit.
Yosemite. This it's just rock dome with all these giant rocks like the size of houses and buses, and
Yeah,
it
like
was cool.
what was the funny thing? So we were actually chatting about our pictures that we took, and these again, we were not trying to create wall hanging pictures. We were just goofing around.
Yeah, it was midday.
But we came back. We're like we go through our pictures, like yeah, they're okay.
Yeah,
Because the problem was we didn't have anybody to shoot while we were up there, so we were just shooting the landscapes. These huge boulders that are just sitting there, and I mean it's weird how they're. It's like someone just placed them down on the top of this dome.
hmm
They look like they're about this big in my pictures because I've got nothing
it's no scale
to
at all.
scale it, right?
Yeah,
So it just looks stupid. It's like, oh, nice, you took some pictures of pebbles. Yeah, that's good.
yeah. It's funny because everybody, I think thinks that when you say you're a photographer, they think you can do it all. And it's when you're really get into photography, you start realizing and appreciating what other people can do.
Hmm.
Like people who shoot babies, that's a whole different skill level that I just cannot seem
That's
to
not me.
master,
Yep.
but landscapes, you know, Most photographers, when they say I'm shooting black and white, just means they screwed their color up or something. They're like, well, if I put it in black and white, it looks artsy, you know.
Uh-huh.
They don't want to admit to it, but a person that really does black and white photography and does it well, man, that's a hard skill to master,
Totally.
you know. But and
A
my
person
hat's
that just
off
does
to you.
landscapes and does it well.
Yep.
I'm not there, man. I can take a great picture of people, but pictures of rocks, it's not my forte.
Yeah.
I
And I
you know,
enjoy
so
doing it. We
I
both enjoy
totally
it.
love
Yeah.
it. Like I say, that was so good for my soul to be out there and just hanging out and taking pictures and creating
Yeah.
some fun content. But
So we were up there, yeah, creating content, and we'll
yep,
talk about that in a minute. What we were doing with Think Tank is one of the people who helped sponsor and do some things with us. But we also went up there because we have a workshop coming up that we're
yeah,
going to do there at Bald Rock. And so I think what was the date? The 12th of September.
12th of September.
So in two
We're gonna
weeks.
announce it this afternoon. We're gonna
Yep,
actually publicly post it this afternoon, so it's actually being announced right now. You guys are for the premiere of the announcement of the newest workshop.
that's right. So we're going to come back up there. We went there once before, 2021, I want to believe,
Yep.
like right after coming out of COVID, and we took up two ballerinas. And you know, if you go to my Smug Mug account, which is where I kind of have my gallery of pictures that I like, these are my favorites. Like the second or third picture is from up there. As
Mhm.
one of my all-time favorite locations, and one of my favorite portraits. And we've been waiting to go back. They've had fires since then that burned everything up around it. You know, we're on a big old rock dome, so that the fire didn't affect that, but it affected getting into it. Matter of fact, even yesterday or Monday when we drove up there, we had to take an alternate route because they're replacing some power lines that got
Yeah.
burned up. And we're talking 2 years ago. They're still fixing this area going in. So we wanted to make sure it was still accessible. The bathrooms have been redone. They're at the parking lot. So it's all good to go. And we're going to go back up there with a
Yeah.
really small group.
This is going to be a small group, and we're calling it a photo shoot workshop, right? So it's kind of we do a couple different types of workshops. We do some
Yeah.
that are just straight up photo shoots and having fun. We have some that are learning workshops, right?
Yeah. We
They're
have our
still fun,
multiple day experiences that we
but
do.
this one is going to be a combo of both. We're gonna take so many pictures, so many amazing pictures, but there will be some points of learning too, because there's some tricks and tips for shooting up there that will help you get successful
Yeah.
pictures. But man, if you want to go out and have fun, we're going to limit this to I think 4 people or so. Like it's going to be a small group. We're going to have a model coming up with us, and it's going to be like a fashion shoot up on top of this huge granite slab.
Yeah.
Like, and there's like I say, big boulders and all kinds of cool stuff.
So let's scare people now.
Okay.
This is not the workshop for everybody, right?
No.
This is one where, you know, I don't want to over scare you, but if you're someone who's like, man, I'm not good at hiking, don't come. You know, not that this is a long hike. I think it took us 15 minutes, 20 minutes maybe from the car to up on top. But it's steep, and
It's
you're
a hike.
walking up this nice gradual granite after a trail.
Yep.
And we did it years ago when we did it, what, in, like I said, in 2021.
21.
We really beat a couple people up that we took up there, and because of
It's a little strenuous.
it's more strenuous than, so we do want to scare you a little bit that, again, if you're in moderate shape, you're
You'll be
going to do fine.
It'll be fine. I'm going to put it this way, and I hope you don't take this wrong. And I'm not talking about you, Mark, but anybody that's watching this. Like, if you have to carry your gear in a wagon on any of our workshops,
It's not for you.
don't come. Right? First of all, you're not going to be able to get the wagon up there, but you have to be able to carry what you're going to shoot with up the mountain.
Yep.
Right.
We're talking
be able to get
backpack
up the
on,
mountain,
a light
backpack
stand with a light over the shoulder too.
Yeah. So
And
if
you're
you're not stable on your feet, don't come. We want you at the next event, but this one is not for you. But if you're able to be in any kind of moderate shape, like, please come out, man. This you will have an absolute killer time up there.
Yep.
We don't want to kill you, but we want to have a killer time.
Yeah. So we're setting this up to do it in the afternoon because
Yep.
we want to be there when the sun's going down.
Yeah.
And you will not believe it's literally, you're up high, you're looking across the entire valley, to like the coastal mountains, like
It's epic.
that far away. It's a beautiful view, and when that sun goes down, it's like being on the top of somewhere in Yosemite,
Yeah.
where you're just sweeping views. But
Oh, I can't wait. Like you said, the pictures that we got up there last time, bringing a model up there was unlike anything else.
yeah,
So,
yep.
man,
So if you want to come and have a great fun afternoon with the Chopstick guys and create stuff worthy of hanging on the wall, this is the one to do it at.
for
Yeah.
sure, for sure. So, hey, speaking of workshops, this is something that you guys need to take advantage of in the next 3 days. If you
Yes.
have any interest in it, sign up. So it's our Salt Flats workshop. You've heard us talk about it. You've seen it promoted all over the place, but we are down to the wire of two things. One is early bird special ends on Friday, right? It will not be extended.
No.
We have filled this workshop with plenty of people, so we have no motivation to extend the early bird. But if you want to get in on the early bird, we did promise that it would go through Friday. You have 3 days left to get in on it.
Yeah.
Once we fill it, it's closed, right? Because we are limited to the amount of people. So grab your spot. Next 3 days, it saves you $100 and something to go on early bird.
Yeah.
There are only a few spots left, so.
And I cannot wait for this workshop. Like, people don't have a clue what's going to happen here. Like, Westcott is sponsoring this workshop. Cheetah Stand is sponsoring this workshop. Think Tank is one of the sponsors of this workshop. And we've got some cool stuff happening, like, just with those three alone.
We have some cool, Nikon also.
And Nikon as well, yeah. You
Yes,
got the
yes.
delivery from Nikon. So
Yes.
there
So-
just might be some real nice prizes and
There might be some nice prizes to these
little
contests
swag
that
and
we
little,
want.
yeah.
So you definitely you'll almost get your money's back with with the nice stuff that you'll be
Exactly.
getting. But yeah, so we are super grateful for all of our sponsors that are supporting this workshop. It is going to be the best time that we've ever been out there. Like,
Yep,
we've
it
been
will
out
be.
there a lot.
Yeah. And we're coming a couple weeks earlier than we were last week, so we're going to miss that really cold air.
Mhm.
Hopefully.
And we have a lot of new friends that are coming. We're
We
excited
do.
about
They
that.
come from all over. And any of you watching, we're going to send out our announcement that we're going to do our Zoom meeting, our Google Meet meeting.
Yep, our pre-trip meeting.
Whenever we do these large experiences, we're going to let you, 30 days out, we'll have a meeting where you can come in and ask all your questions. We'll talk about suggestions on gear, all those things. And then usually about a week and a half before the actual event, we'll do another one. You'll meet the models. You get to meet everybody. You come as friends. You don't come as a bunch of strangers showing up. A lot of times people are at the first meeting talking about, ooh, you want to share a room, or can I meet you at the airport and let's split, a rental car, whatever it is. So,
I
yes.
can't wait. The day can't come fast enough. Like,
And you got what? You say 3 days, 4 days left?
3 days till Friday.
Friday is the last day, yes.
Yep.
So, man, do not miss the early bird, because, that's just money in your pocket that you can spend at the Salt Flats Cafe buying incredible Mexican food.
It's some of the best Mexican food.
It really
believe it or
is.
not.
I was thinking, Monday, when we were there in Bald Rock, in Oroville, we went, well, where has the best tacos? And we went to a place that looked so sketchy and scary.
It was bad. Like,
It was like, okay, this makes the Salt Flats Cafe look like a Michelin star restaurant.
it was
But
like the Taj Mahal.
amazing tacos, amazing.
That place that we went to, I won't mention it because I don't even remember what the name was, but
It's like Lucinda's or
it
something,
was
a
something.
lady's name.
We pulled up in this parking lot, and I said, "Where is that?" And it was like a little trailer building.
It did. It looked
And I'm like,
abandoned.
is this it? And it said Taqueria on the outside. I said, we're going in because I think we're going to experience something great. So we went in, and literally it's like a few plastic tables, some lady sitting behind a plastic table, some guy
Yeah.
working
She,
with
like,
spatulas.
she was sitting behind like a card table.
Yeah. And she's like, what you want? Like, I don't know. And the tacos were $2, right? $2.
Yeah.
I said,
Woo.
I'll take 4. And he said, I'll take 3. And then she's like, what do you want to drink? Like, I don't know. What do you have? Nothing. She said,
Yeah.
water. You got to go next door to get a drink. Well, then why'd you ask me, lady? But anyways,
They
Then you go into
share
this.
half the store is like a convenience liquor store.
It's
Like,
a liquor store.
and then
And talk
there's
about, you thought the taco place looked sketchy. This
oh,
convenience place was ultra
uh,
sketchy.
somebody from
You're like, I
Orville's
don't know
going,
if I
I
should
know
buy
the
one
place.
here.
Man, the
Yeah,
tacos were good though.
they were awesome. So the
But
Salt Flats Cafe,
yeah, oh
uh,
my goodness,
they're in Wendover,
incredible food
Utah.
there.
The thing with Wendover, Utah. So I'm not trying to scare everybody, just like you're trying to scare everybody with their walking ability up the side of a granite boulder, but the food is a little limited in Wendover.
Yep.
Right? We don't have a lot of choices of where we eat. Now, we usually end up eating all together as a group for all
Yep.
of our meals.
You don't have to, but everybody usually
Yep,
chooses
we
to.
just hang out together. So the one place that we discovered, and through a local, our first time out there, is like, hey man, you been to the Salt Flats Cafe? We're like, no, what's that? He's like, it's the best Mexican food you ever had.
Uh-huh.
And you walk in, and they just,
It's like a converted mobile home.
it is. It's another one
That,
of those places, totally sketchy looking, but great food, and the owners are fantastic.
oh my goodness. Yeah.
Great people.
Was it still
So
cash only last year?
I think they changed it.
I think they changed it. They are finally taking cards, but
Yeah,
oh
it
my
was
goodness, it
still.
was the food though. Oh, I
In
can't
fact,
wait.
the first couple times, because I don't know if he even had, a calculator in the building. We would come up, and I paid for you and I, and then all of our model crew paid for them. And he's like, so how many people you have? I don't know. How about $36? Like,
Yeah,
he didn't even know what we had. Like,
exactly.
okay, they didn't do that last time, but I remember
Yeah.
that first time. He was like, whatever. So yeah,
Now, so Salt Flats is going to be awesome.
definitely
And
awesome. So
go ahead.
where
You're
where can you find that? You can find it on our website, panopticchopsticks.com.
.com.
And we'll probably put a link somewhere where you can find it.
Yeah, and then today we'll be announcing the Bald Rock one if you're in Northern California, coming up in a couple of weeks. That's going to be on a Thursday. We love doing these during the week just because you're going to beat the crowd and there's nobody up there, and it's going to be a great day. So we were shooting some content for Cheetah Stand on
Mm-hmm.
Monday,
Mm-hmm.
which oh my goodness, right? I always say this is the one product that you don't realize that you need.
Yeah,
And that sounds weird to
good way to
say it
phrase
that
it.
way. Like this is a product you need, but you don't know you need it. Because I never thought I needed it. You and I both were like, that's dumb. Self-retracting legs. It's gimmicky. Until you start using a cheetah stand and then you don't have it. And somebody takes it away or you forget it and you go back to an old stand and you start going, where's my cheetah stand? They're awesome. And
Where
we'll
was
talk
I the
about,
other
I don't
day?
want to go down the,
I was with you. Where was I that I didn't have my cheetah stand with me for some reason?
we filmed a video for Westcott that just came out this last week
Yeah, that's what it was. And so I didn't want to use my cheetah stand on their video, right?
on
So
their
like
video.
I was using, it wasn't a Westcott stand either, but it didn't have any branding on it. I almost threw the thing in the river
Uh-huh.
because I was so frustrated, like
Fighting, trying to pull those legs out,
legs up and down and just, oh,
hooking them on doorways when you're trying to walk into something
very
and
frustrating.
because you didn't collapse it, where it was like, just give me back my cheetah stand. But and then we did some think tank stuff. So those of you that know, this year we've moved away from the wandered bags, and we got to the point where you and I, we were both traveling out of the country and went, okay, we gotta come up with a bag solution that actually works. And it had nothing to do with like, oh, the wandered bags aren't
That's
nice.
great
They're
gear,
incredible gear.
but it's not built for the gear that we have, right? Because
It was,
I
yes.
couldn't get my gear into it
No.
like I needed it.
Yeah. And so much of these companies, again, I'm sound like an old grumpy old man, right? They're run by
You are.
this young whippersnappers. Is everybody's into this like, well, now it's mirrorless. And for a long time, you and I were talking, mirrorless was code for
Small.
I have a small body with a 35 millimeter lens, and now I just need a tiny backpack. Well, I have a mirrorless camera, and my 4 lenses and my 2 bodies don't
Yeah.
fit in those tiny backpacks. And then my spider holster pin always adds some size to my bodies to where I can't zip my things up because they're
Uh-huh.
sticking up higher than my bag. They're just the 85 1.2 lens. That's a behemoth, right? It
It's
doesn't
huge.
fit in a normal bag. But in my think tank bag, it just goes straight up and down, or it lays sideways. Like it fits because their
Yeah, and
bags are extra deep.
when I was headed out to Africa, and I searched everywhere for a bag that would work. I needed something that fit into the weight requirements that Emirates Airlines had and all this stuff. And I ended up actually contacting Think Tank and said, hey, what would work for this situation? Like, oh, you should try one of these. So I ended up getting a Think Tank retrospective shoulder bag. Wonderful bag. Like
Yeah.
that
I
one's gonna
remember
show
when you said, this is what I'm getting, and I'm thinking, good luck. Like that. I'm sure that's going to work for you, sarcastically.
Uh-huh. You did. You were totally
I'm like,
sarcastic.
I want one. You went, hey, look at how much this opens up. And next thing you know, you had like 2 bodies and lens and all kinds of stuff in yours.
So,
So,
I got one of those, and then I got the airport commuter bag, which is a nice little small, super holds a ton of stuff for the size backpack, and incredibly comfortable. Meets the FAA requirements for storage under a seat and all this stuff. Got one of those, and then we got a First Light backpack, right, which is a big backpack. It's one of those that has the belt straps and all that stuff on it.
yeah. But it's become our everyday backpack.
Yeah, there's places I wouldn't wear it just because it's got the straps on it. But that bag swallows up all the gear, and the best part is it's super heavy.
Yeah.
But it fits on your back incredibly well.
Oh, yeah. It's so comfortable. So
But
the other thing is, okay.
So what I said to Matt there at Think Tank, I said, I just wish, because this stuff is great, right? And like every photographer that has owned Think Tank gear probably thinks the same thing. You think, I wish Think Tank would make luggage, like regular luggage for my clothes and to travel.
Yeah.
And
And not even that, because I was telling you earlier, like half of my gear won't fit in my camera bag to carry on, like because I got to carry all the batteries in my backpack for my drone, for my extra lights, for those end up in my suitcase. And sometimes I'll have a lens that ends up in a suitcase. And I'm just like crossing my fingers going, hopefully this isn't going to get destroyed.
So, you know what they said? They said, guess what? We
Yeah.
just came out with a line called Venturing Observer. And it's a line of luggage. I'm like,
Yep.
I want one of those too.
Yep, here.
You have yours around? Like it's big. So it's...
Next to me here, I had one. So let's see. If I hold it back like this, you can kind of see.
Yeah, it's the size of a carry-on rolly, and it's not a camera bag. This is a piece of luggage.
This is just luggage. When you open it up, it's got this incredible lining in it that looks great. Let's see. This is not the right way to do it, but it's just got a nice look to it. It's got all kinds of divided pockets. It's got so many extra features, like, look at this. It's got the lock already built into it. So if you got to walk away from, you're going to leave your bag, you want to, you're half falling asleep, I can chain it up to something to my seat where it's not going to get taken. It's got the, what do they call this? The ID global
Sentry lock.
Sentry lock. You've got this lock already built into the side that is set up to where your zippers lock into there, so that if you had to carry some stuff onto a plane and you're like, okay, I've got an extra lens in here, this one right here, the Venturing Observer, I believe it's called the M, and then there's the L, which is a little bit bigger. This one is made for international travel. It fits the requirements for overhead. But how many planes have we been on where they're like, sir, you're gonna have to check that bag, and you're like, oh, I got a drone in there. I got all kinds of stuff that I don't want broken. Man, I hope my bag makes it. Well, now I can lock this, so I can actually put my zippers and they're locked in there, so I know when the baggage handlers can't quickly take something out of my bag, and I have some security that way.
Yep. So here's the thing. Like you've been talking about how you are packing gear in it, and my question would be, okay, they make rollies that are gear bags, right? They have a lot of these safety features in it. But that's not what I needed. I needed a suitcase, right, for travel. Just I want to throw my clothes in. I want to throw if I throw some gear.
Well, this is just a big empty cavity that way. Yep. There's no dividers.
I wanted a suitcase. I've got so many suitcases. It's like my camera bags. But I wanted a suitcase that was built like my Think Tank camera bag.
Yep.
Because if you've had any think tank gear over the years, it still looks new, even though you beat it up, right?
Yeah.
You were rolling that rolly the other day through rocks and dirt. It's fine,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
The stuff is built like their name, like a tank. This stuff is killer. If you've ever had think tank gear, you know it's great. And so I've always wanted a piece. I wanted a suitcase that's built like a think tank.
Yeah.
This is it.
And Think Tank is a lot like, they have something in common with Cheetah Stand. They're not disposable, right? So much of our luggage today, right? What happens? It just wears out, and you're like, I gotta go down and get another piece of luggage. Everything's replaceable on this. The handles are replaceable from Think Tank, the
Yep.
wheels, the armor plate, the all these pieces. Same thing with like Cheetah Stand. You don't throw a Cheetah Stand away. Every single like knob and piece on that thing is replaceable from Cheetah Stand. Nobody
So
else does that.
Speaking of replaceable parts, my wife said something the other day when I was singing the praises of this suitcase. I wonder if it was. She goes, what don't you like about it? Because you seem to be in love with your suitcase. I'm like, she says, it's kind of odd that you're so in love with the suitcase, but like I just love this suitcase. I said the thing I wish it had was the little spinny wheels that you find on rollies nowadays,
Yes.
right? And she goes, no, you don't. I go, I do. I just want to roll it and spin it around. She's like, what has happened to every single suitcase, every one that you've had spinny wheels on it?
They've broken.
Oh, yeah, they've broken, right? And that's why the think tank does not have spinny wheels, because those things always get caught on the belt machine, the
Yes.
ramp machines and stuff on airplanes, and
Yeah,
then
it doesn't matter if it's replaceable when it's broken and you're overseas.
or what happens, right? The wheels get stuck because they spin in the wrong direction. You end up dragging it across the sidewalk, and now you've got a flat spot. And it's every time you're rolling the bag, right? So these wheels are replaceable. Everything's fully replaceable on this bag. It's awesome.
And you know what? Let's face it. It's pretty cool to have your luggage matching your backpack. When you walk through the airport, there's some pride of like,
Oh, the
I got this
vanity of it
incredible
all.
tank gear. Everything's protected. So, just so you know, if you didn't know it, Think Tank makes luggage now. Check it out. They make little divider things that like compression bags for your, separate your clothing in different sizes, shoe bags. So
Yeah, this
all
shoe bag
that,
is awesome. I
if
actually
you're
got
an
one of those.
organizing freak, you're gonna love this line.
Yeah, because in Africa, I was walking through stuff you don't want to walk through, right? Like, and so I had the shoe bag, so I stuck my shoes in that shoe bag, and I can pack it with all the other stuff. It's fine.
Yeah,
So,
and a matter of fact, it's made for two sets of shoes. They
yep.
divide, so you got a shoe on each, just two shoes, two sets of shoes, two pairs, I guess is what you would call it.
Pairs of shoes.
But yeah, so we shot some stuff for Think Tank. We'll probably be, filtering some of that stuff out, just some things to put on our social.
Yep.
And we have been working with Think Tank now for a few months, and man, we're loving. It was the
They're
right
the
move
bags.
for us.
They're
The
the
right
bags that
bag.
I always say, like, every time I put it on, like, what have I been doing with my life? Right? They are maybe not. They might get mad at me if I say it. They're not the sexiest looking bags, right? They look like a bag, but they're absolutely the most practical. They're the best built bags on the market. They're the most comfortable bags I've ever worn, or pulled, or carried, right? And you know what? This, like, the retrospective shoulder bag is a good looking bag.
Yeah.
Really good. So they've gone more into the good looks with all the capability of Think Tank bags.
Yep. So rolling bags, bar none, the best I've seen.
Yep.
Two bodies go side by side with lenses on them. I mean, they're wide enough, deep enough, all those things. So, all right, we've sang the praises of Think Tank. We've talked about. we're just feeling like we're a big commercial, but
this live has been sponsored
photography
by.
is so much about gear.
It is.
And it's not that it'll make you a better photographer, but it will make your life much easier.
People say it's not about the gear. It's about
It is. It's
what's
about
behind the cabeza there. It's about the gear.
It's
It's about
both.
the gear.
It's
I mean,
both.
no, it's about the gear. 'Cause my camera takes amazing pictures.
It does.
Actually, it really does by itself.
Somebody and yeah, no.
In fact, with some of the new things, when you can fire it off with your phone through your camera, my camera actually is taking amazing pictures. I don't have to do a thing anymore. So.
Yeah, I'm so excited about you and I both. We both have new 85 1.2 lenses.
Yeah.
Like that, we don't want to take off of our cameras. So
Have
I
you
had
guys
a
ever
family
tried
shoot the
85
other night that
1.2?
got canceled
Yep.
after I stood around and waited for almost 2 hours for them to show up, and they show up and it's pitch black, and so I canceled the shoot. But I was so disappointed, not that the shoot or with the client, but the fact that I didn't get to shoot with my 85 that night because it's magic what happens like when you get again gear. Yes, gear makes a difference.
It does.
That lens does something just whoa, you can't explain it.
Yeah. Have you guys ever shot with an 85? Because if you've an 85 1.2 in particular the Nikon 85 1.2,
Yeah.
I will argue all day to try to find a better lens than that
Yep.
lens from any brand. And you know what
Yeah,
I
you
got.
you know my love of the 200 millimeter f2,
Yep.
but you know what? This gives you that same beautiful bokeh.
It's
It's
amazing.
crazy good.
It's amazing. It's amazingly expensive too.
Right.
But
All right,
hey, as
so
we
now we're
always
just
say,
rambling.
it's only money. It's
That's
only
right. Now we're just rambling, but man, take a look if your LEDs, that 120B, keep watching because we're going to show some reviews of that stuff. We're going to start playing around with it. We know for a fact it's going to be part of our school portraits and our headshots because
Mhm,
LED is the way to go when you're shooting those live
for
type
sure.
of, next, headshots and things like that. It's awesome. 2 workshops coming up.
Yeah, grab your spot for both because
Yeah,
literally the next one is short turnaround time. It's 2 weeks away and limited amount of people, and we have very few spaces left for salt
that's right.
flats. So
Very few.
very, very few.
So, yep,
Are we done rambling? You think for
we
today?
are.
Okay,
Okay.
that's it.
Other than the most important thing that we want to leave you with today
Yes.
is don't be
Don't be
lazy.
lazy. That's right. All right, everybody. Until next time, adios. We'll see you.